All right, next to this. Oh, now you want something a little harder, huh? All right, just you wait. So everybody can blame him for your headaches later today. All right, so what we're gonna do next is really just look at, for argument's sake, I'm gonna kind of beat this one to death because you need to understand that there are different ways to rotate than just using the centroid, like you're spinning it like a top. So you basically can take any point on the geometry and rotate it. So if I wanted to not use the centroid, right, then it's actually rotating around the origin. So this rotation is going to look quite different because the world reference plane that it has, the world XY, rotates it around the origin instead. Similarly, if I was in Rhino and I place a point, and I'd like you guys to do this one too, go to params and reference in that point. So I'll show you again how I did that because I did it pretty quick. Go into Rhino, click on point, single point, and just put one kind of off in space, not too far. And then go into Grasshopper and under params and geometry, drop in a point param. Set one point and select it. So now you're going to see something very different happen when you plug this point in as your origin point for the rectangle. So I'm going to plug that in here, and now you see they jumped far apart. So why did they jump far apart?
Because it's not rotating around that anymore.
Define that.
The original rectangle, instead it's rotating around the point that you make.
Close, but not exactly. So rather than rotating around the bottom left corner of the rectangle, which used to be placed at the origin, this rotate is still reading, even though I moved the rectangle away from the origin, it's still reading the origin as the center of rotation. So if I have this geometry out in space, wherever it is, right, that's moving around because the rotation is actually happening about the origin point. Making some sense now? So I can move this closer to the origin and it'll rotate it tighter.
It's still going to rotate around
Farther away. So what do I do if I want to rotate that rectangle around this point? Right, you plug it into the P. So drop this point into P, and now you're going to be simulating what you had before, but now it's in a different location. So are there any questions on that right now? Pretty simple, right? Okay, so let's amp it up a little bit. What I want to show you now is circular in nature. So we're going to create a circle. Well, do I want to do circular? Nah, I don't want to do circular. Yeah, no, I don't want to do circular. I'll just leave it rectangular to show you. But I'm going to go into perspective now. Okay, so my objective here is to take this rectangle and rotate it up into plane. But now you truly have to start to have a mastery, or into an oblique plane, I should say. But you truly need to start to have a mastery of how to control planes when you're doing these kind of compound rotations. And by compound rotations, I mean I need to rotate it a couple of times to get it into a new orientation. So let me turn this one off. And you can see now my rotation here is kind of anywhere I put this right now. So this geometry has a particular direction and inherent plane about it. So if you recall, when you go to Surface, Analysis, Area, you can get the centroid, like I did previous to now. And then you can find, actually, do I want that? No, I probably don't. No, I don't want to use the centroid, actually. I changed my mind. You can delete that. Go under Vector and go to Plane. And let's go to I'm just trying to figure out which one I want here. Construct plane, I think. This might have the right orientation. I think it should, because it should follow the rotation, but no, it needs an origin point. Sorry, I'm just trying to think through what the best way to do this is. Construct. All right, well, let's see what we're getting if we're going to use this. No, I do want to use the normal. Sorry, I changed my mind again. All right, so let's go back under Surface, Analysis, Area, and plug that in. And then we can get our normal tools, right? So evaluate surface and surface closest point. I'll give you a moment to pick those up. Right, so the area, and then under surface analysis, we want evaluate surface and surface closest point. Yes?
I must say, you say curve analysis or surface?
Surface analysis.
Which one? Evaluate surface.
Okay. So the centroid is going to plug into the P, and G, being the geometry, is what we want to plug into both S values. So at this point, I'm going to kind of block all these off as a singular idea, and I'm going to pull these aside so that we know what we're working on, right? So this was our initial rotation. Okay, and so we need to do a couple of things to get the plane in the right location for us to rotate. So if we go into, I think it's under vector. Yes. Yes. Sure. So all we did was drop in the area. And then we have our two tools that, remember I mentioned, they're always paired together for our purposes here in this class, at least so far. The surface closest point and evaluate surface.
Always they come together.
All right, I'm going to stop the video here and get everybody on the same page with this before I move on.